So what is the auto motion wheel route glitch? Well, if you've been paying attention to social media, it is the talk of the town. Decrop putting out a tweet the other day, letting the cat out of the bag. Now, from what I'm hearing, I don't know if this is true or not. The credit on this should go to Villain Av, I believe. I just want to make sure that from my point of view, I'm giving credit. This is not something that I created. In fact, I'm going to be showing you guys how to counter it in today's video. I think that's the most important part. So make sure that if you guys enjoyed today's video, you are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, grab out your pen and pad, because you're going to face this online. I know I already have a bunch since that tweet went out. So let's get started here with how this works. Truth be told, this is more of a zone beating glitch than anything else. But basically, you're going to be looking for a play or a formation that has a play where you're going to be able to utilize an auto motion wheel route. Right now, the formation that a lot of players are starting to run is this Y off trio close, which is new to a lot of playbooks in the game. You guys will find it here specifically as the Oregon State playbook. Very, very popular. Now, the play that players are going to be calling is known as mesh rail. So with this play, mesh rail, traditionally speaking, the ball is going to be on a hash mark. Now, there is an auto motion that's going to occur. So if we start this auto motion, you're going to see that the ball gets snapped when this receiver basically crosses the All-State logo. So I'm going to throw that ball away here, and then we'll take a look at the instant replay so you can kind of see what occurs. So this is the moment that the ball is snapped. You see that this wide receiver is considerably closer to the line than what we will have him in this next rep. But basically the ball snap, turning the formation into like basically a 2x2 compression. And there's a lot of plays in the game that utilize this concept, but what's going to occur when you guys use this glitch, or what players are doing online when they use this glitch, is they will actually quiet down the crowd with the quarterback. So they're going to start this motion, and then when the player reaches about the right tackle, they're going to quiet the crowd with the quarterback, which allows them to take further steps. And then that widens out the throw a lot. So to make this a little bit easier, what a lot of players will do is they will streak this inside receiver, with the point being that he's going to make the outside deep zone in a cover 3 or a cover 4 run up the seam a little bit more. And then they will run this, quieting the crowd down when he hits the left tackle. And then what they will be able to do is see that this allows them to snap this ball and throw a wide open wheel. As you see right there, Arch Manning decided to sell us on that throw. So this is something that does not elicit much of a response at all from outside zones in general. Deep zones do not play well against this when people have this guy going further out towards the sideline. And just to kind of contrast the way this looks, look how much further out towards the sideline this receiver is. Remember, he was on the All-State logo in our first example. Now he's almost damn near the sideline on this, which drastically changes the window that that outside third can play. And you see that if we didn't get absolutely sold by Arch Manning on this throw, that's actually a perfect opportunity for us to pick up a gigantic rat catch. I mean, possibly even a one-play touchdown here on this. So now I've got an example where we're going to give ourselves a little bit more room. We've got the ball on a hash here, and I'm just going to kind of show you what we can expect out of this when we're talking about basically attacking zone. Cover 3 sky, cover 4 drop, cover 2. In this example, I'm going to put a cloud flat on the outside because I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking first and foremost, let's go ahead and do that. Now, one thing you can do to kind of lab this concept, and I'm not really encouraging you to get used to this concept because it's almost a foregone conclusion that EA will prevent us from quieting down the crowd during auto motion plays. But what you can start to do is maybe mess with your timing of when you start the quiet down animation. But in general, again, you're just going to start doing this when he reaches the left side of the line. There we go. We get this animation. And then you're going to see here that you can kind of throw this ball out on the sideline. And my God, Arch Manning is selling me in this video. But you see, again, it's just wide open, right? Cover 3 wide open, cover 4 wide open, cover 2 wide open. So what can we do to actually get somebody to guard this damn thing is probably the question that you guys have. Well, the answer is very simple. Make sure you're subscribed right here because I'm going to help you absolutely free. But if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you guys open up another tab and take a look at gridirongameplans.gg. I talk about it in every video, but just to summarize what we've done already in college football 26, I have over 60 tips in our vault since July the 7th when this game came out. That's just the vault. Those are updated, focused on the meta, how it works, and how to counter it. Very similar to this YouTube video. On top of that, I have 5 game plan installations already on the website with 2 out of my Rice Owls, modern option playbook. I've got my bunch tight end game plan on the website, the match coverage game plan, and I've also got the 3-3-5 3 high odd defensive game plan on the website. And I'm going to have a 2-4 game plan out in the very near future. I also have a lot of defensive content in the vault. If none of those formations appeal to you, I've got some stuff in there that certainly will. So make sure you guys go check it out. I do have my Madden 26 pre-sale running. You guys can bundle that membership with your college football membership. Go take a look at all the available checkout options. I promise there will be something for you. And make sure you guys hop in our Discord and say hello. There's over 3,000 members helping each other out day in and day out inside the Discord. All right, so the answer is match coverage. You guessed it, match coverage. Yeah, to be honest with you, really match coverage quarters is a good one. This is going to give you a better response against these wheel routes. The reason for this is that you're not dealing with a deep zone on the outside that is trying to split or midpoint to attacking threats. With match, it's literally as simple as this. You have a route that is going vertical into your zone. Once it hits that landmark, you convert to man on it. So what we're going to do here is play a little quarters, and we're going to start this little auto motion glitch, and I'm going to quiet the crowd down, and I want you to watch this outside corner. You're going to see that he's going to basically go out to this guy, and you cannot throw it. Now, it's actually insane that Arch Manning has not hit a single throw here. Obviously, you see that this is wide open, but in this example, you notice that this outside deep zone doesn't just drift up the seam with the slot. So what you end up with here is he's able to realize, okay, number one vertical out here, wide open. I'm going to go match him. Now, one thing that you guys can do when you start to see this is move your guys out wide. There's going to be certain formations that are just super telltale, obvious. You know, the blueprint for this is going to be some sort of like motion mesh rail type call out of compression. There's some in bunch and, you know, trips tight end type formations have them where the trip side will motion across to the tight end side and run a wheel. You have 2-lane playbook in bunch tight end where this is possible. Honestly, this whole quiet the crowd thing is possible out of a lot of auto motion plays. So you're going to have to get used to defending them. But one of the things I would definitely recommend is just make sure that you guys create a little bit more width for your corner. If you just want to motion him out here, that's totally fine. That'll just give you enough of a difference where if he does run the auto motion, great. If he doesn't, he's still in a spot where he can impact the play from his match rules where he's standing right here. But definitely make sure that you guys are calling more match coverage with this. So again here, maybe we'll run like a post. For whatever reason, I got a false start with no play clock due to making a hot route. But again, just motion this guy out here. This will help significantly. That way, if they're out here doing all this extra stuff, trying to, you know, set up beaters or whatever, and then they do this little quiet the crowd thing down, it will just have these guys able to match a lot easier. And you see that they're able to impact this play. So a really simple solve for this, but it is something nonetheless that you will run into. Please be careful with this. If you're running zone, check into match. Another thing that you guys can do that I want to give you as a pro tip is, let's say that you set cover 4 quarters as an audible. You come out in zone because you want to be in zone. One thing that you can always do is audible once the auto motion starts, so long as you have your audible menu up early. So in other words, if they start this and then they do the quiet the crowd, you can check into quarters and you will be safe. And then your match will take over and everything else will be matched accordingly. They won't be able to throw a wide open sideline wheel because you've now converted from zone into match coverage. So just a little sneaky trick to kind of get around this. It is something that you'll have to tolerate in the short term, but I hope you guys appreciate the effort to counter these things. That's what I pride myself in doing, is taking these stupid little things and making it so it's free, so you guys can see how to counter it. That's the most important part. You know, people are going to win games with this online, but they're going to be so beatable if you just watch these types of videos, and that's what I'm here for. So I hope you guys liked it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab, man. Good luck.